Guys, the Laguna, catalyst for change, catalyst for change, catalyst for change. That's all that was rang last season by Mr. Bold, Ivan Gazidis, and etc. etc. We've seen some underwhelming things, but maybe he wasn't lying. We're bringing in someone that used to work at Team Sky, was a director of commercial and business, was a very skilled individual. Forgive me if I've got his pronunciation wrong. Hussein Fahmy or Fahmy. Pronunciation police, get in the comments and correct me. But yeah, let's get into it. We know Arsenal were a weird club. I mean, everything relies on one man, whether it's contracts, whatever. Now, this signing or this backroom signing doesn't please me. It doesn't really. It's not what I wanted, but it's a step in the right direction in the sense that we have skilled men to share the workload. Let's get into it. Firstly, he's a qualified lawyer. Typically, you see a lot of football agents and people involved in this sort of business are lawyers. Now, he's worked in commercial. He's worked in handling commercial things, image rights, contracts from start to finish. We all know contracts can be a long, dragged out process. Business stuff, creating partnerships with internal and external organizations that are, if they're internal, part of the little family business tree and things like that, and exploring new opportunities. He might not be the man for everything, but he's clearly skilled. Like I said, he's worked at Team Sky. He's clearly got a lot of transferable skills that I've just alluded to. And he's a qualified lawyer, ensuring that he can transfer them skills and hit the ground running with minimal effort. The big thing for me is whether it's promising young players allowed to go for peanuts like Gnabry, whether it's players that we don't think are good enough, whether we want to get buyback clauses or proper sell-on clauses that the likes of United and Chelsea do expertly. United very expertly at buyback clauses and things like that of that nature. Chelsea the same. It ensures that we're going to be better at that department. It ensures that we can be in a stronger negotiating position when it comes to transfers to and from the club. If it's away from the club, I guarantee with this, based on what I've said on this guy, I mean, I don't know him, I don't know if his skills personally, but with disappointment, you'd like to think we'd avoid the situation of our two greatest assets from a business point of view that can walk into almost every team in the world, if not every. Alexis and Ozil won't be in this position. We won't be in this weak negotiation position, whether we decide to sell or whatever with them. The likes of Oxlade, Gibbs, Wilshere, Ramsey, these sort of British homegrown players that whether they're good enough or they've made their progress or whatever you think of them, they can go for a slightly inflated fee because they're British and because there's actually some top teams that need homegrown players. So from that aspect, and then you look at players like Gnabry. Now, whether it was Gnabry, I'm not going to get into it. You guys know how much I feel about Gnabry, but the fact is, a year left and we didn't get more than 5 million. We could have got way more in that department, probably added a buyback clause, a proper sell-on clause, and things of that nature if we're not going to keep him and work out here, which I've said the likes of Chelsea and United do much better than us. So yeah, we can improve on that aspect. One and another reason I'm pleased is because surely this spells the end of Dick Law. I mean, I've spoken previously, and you've seen the reports he's stepping down. He'll obviously stay in the short term at least. I mean, to help things run in, to tell people what to do, and to slowly ease people in, sort of thing. But he's got to be more competent than without knowing him anything much about him other than the research I've done. He's got to be more competent than Dick Law, the man who, like I've said before, almost missed a plane to go and sign Ozil. I mean, he's done it before. He's the one that was really involved in the 40 million and £1 thing if you go and do your research. But yeah, he's got to be more competent than that. And also, it does leave Dick Law rather marginalised because you'd like to think, what is he going to do? Typically, Dick Law and Ivan Gazidis are involved, tend to get more hands-on in the initial stages of contract negotiations or transfers. It's expected that Mr. Fahmy, again, forgive me if I'm wrong, will conclude the deals. We know we've had problems concluding deals, whether it's that 40 million and £1, whether it was letting Hazard run away, whether it was the whole Lacazette last year or Bangniang the year before, Griezmann, all of these sort of marquee players, and even if they're not marquee players, the likes of Kante, who, whether it was more money or whatever, went to Chelsea. Personally, I've spoken before, I'm not going to get into detail. That's good on Chelsea and that's good on Kante. That's the sort of thing I would like to see at this club. I mean, he has worked on contracts from start to finish, but like I said, he's probably going to be dealing with the conclusion of it. And I mean, you don't want, if you're an Arsenal fan and you know how frustrating Dick Law is, you don't want him to be involved, especially in the concluding of any business. In short, guys, there's not much more to say other than while it's not the appointment we wanted, we're not going to get a director of football, and there's rumours we'll get another sort of role introduced. Like, there's not much more to say. I mean, the key things other than the key takeaways from this for me is he's clearly better than Dick Law. He's clearly a skilled individual. He's got very good skills. He will help us. I'd like to think he'd help us. I mean, we've been here before, but I'd like to think he'd help us getting more money or retaining players or things of that nature. Contracts. Avoid this whole nonsense again. And we can have faith in the sense that if we were to go for these players, like let's just say Suarez happened again, and we did bid suitable money, you'd have reasonable faith it can be concluded. There's been several cases of contracts and breaking down, contract talks breaking down between players at the club and players that we could have signed. It's a very well documented thing. I'm not going to bring up examples and things like that. There's not much more to say on that front, guys, other than maybe Ivan wasn't lying. Personally, it's not the change I wanted to see. I want to see a lot more. But yeah, guys, Delhi Lagoon, I'm signing out. Step in the right direction. Not much more to say on that.